Louisiana. And with that win, the Bobcats are 5-10 in Sun Belt play, alone for 10th in the conference standings. And this game is underway with a tip won by the Golden Eagles, and off we go from San Marcos.
And you can see early, they definitely want to get the ball in and get established that interior play by Malia Grayson. She does such a great job inside on the block. She's a next level player, fifth-year kid for the Golden Eagles. Really an important player for them.
Early three-pointer for Sanaya Burks is off targets. Nice touch by Southern Miss. So again, Texas State 69-58 winners over the Raging Cajuns on Wednesday, snapping a 4-game losing streak. It was a trio of Jamia Harris, Jalen Foster, and Destiny Terrell that combined to score 53 against Louisiana.
Texas State's forwards really came to play on Wednesday, did a great job of sharing the basketball. And, you know, today against this tough Southern Miss team, they're going to have to, again, be able to put the ball in the hole to get some separation.
Shot clock down to 5 for Terrell. Now it's Jalen Foster against Grayson. Scoop shot is short. Offensive putback and a foul. Terrell on the rebound there for Texas State. Now she'll go to the line for 2. Foster down to the floor hard there in that shot, but the foul not called on that play. Was on the following rebound. Destiny Terrell now lining up a couple of free throws for Texas State. He had 13 against the Raging Cajuns on Wednesday.
Yeah, Terrell does such a great job. You know, a lot of the little things that you don't notice on the stat sheet, she does probably the best job of rebounding. Outside of her area, she's consistent about going the offensive glass, like in this last possession, and that's where she's going to get the bulk of her points.
For the Golden Eagles, coming off a 66-57 loss to South Alabama on Wednesday, the Golden Eagles' third loss in a row, 5th straight in conference play. In fact, Southern Miss's last conference win came against Texas State back in January 30th. Corner 3 rattles out for Trinity Rowe. And off the miss, here comes Texas State. Here's Terrell, faking to her left, coming back to her right. Out of bounds, last touch by the Bobcats.
Yeah, really good look there in transition from Texas State. I like the way they pitched ahead and then got the ball inside to Terrell, really trying to establish that inside presence for them. Just missed the little bunny there.
Both offenses have struggled this season, ranking 13th and 14th in the Sun Belt in scoring. Bobcats 62 points per game, the Golden Eagles 61. This was a low-scoring game with these two met last month in Hattiesburg, 52-46, the final. A game won by the Golden Eagles. Jalen Foster fakes a 3, drives and pulls up, short. Offensive rebound, Texas State.
Again, that was a great move by Foster. I like the shot fake against the zone, getting by the first defender, finding that soft spot, and then elevating. Again, that's a great look for her. She's going to hit those most of the time.
Foster's ball knocked loose, gets it back, puts it up at near the shot clock buzzer to wave off the shot. She traveled first.
Yeah, you know, you gotta love Foster. You know, the thing about her, she is a competitor. She plays hard every ball game this year. We've got to watch Texas State. She really gets out and gets things done.
Here's a travel you see against Foster. And a quick timeout called here by Southern Miss, or by Texas State.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That play was a little discombobulated in that Foster was still getting up off the floor, and they went ahead and inbounded the ball.
We'll step aside with the Golden Eagles on top early here in San Marcos. Back after this on ESPN+.
In collegiate sports, one name continues to rise. Now is the time where we go hard, moving up. Deep in the zone, keep it moving cause we're coming up. Now is the time where we go hard, moving up. Deep in the zone, keep it moving cause we're coming up. The Sun Belt Conference, 14 universities, 10 states, rising. We're gonna hold it down till the sun comes up.
Oh, is this rolling? Okay.
So I look at you, not the camera, right?
Pizza Hut, take 8.
Sausage, pepperoni, and bacon. That's all I need right there.
I like pineapple, but I don't like pineapple on pizza. I eat it flat at the beginning, but then I fold it once I get to the end of it.
My favorite topping is pepperoni, right? It's original. You know, you can't go wrong with it.
Y'all listening? My favorite Pizza Hut memory is right now with the guys.
When you buy a home at 𝘀𝗁𝗃, the good times start as soon as you sign your contract. Call today to learn about big savings. And you can unlock the fun of our 55-plus community before you ever unlock your new front door.
Today we're out here at Spring Lake, which is one of my favorite places, and we are going to be catching some turtles and some fish through different sorts of trapping techniques that we're learning that are associated with our major, so it's been really cool. This class is huge for us wildlife majors that want to go into the field of wildlife biology research and field work, because it's giving us techniques that we will actually use on the job, so it's preparing us for a career that is sooner than we think it is actually.
And welcome back to St. Marcus. Early 2-1 lead for Southern Miss. Texas State and the Golden Eagles meeting for the 7th time here today. The all-time series tied 3 games apiece. And the Golden Eagles have won 3 in a row in the series, including a win at Hattiesburg last month. Back to action here at Strand Arena. Coming out of the call timeout by Texas State. Here's Jalen Foster. Off the window, score. First basket of the game.
Yeah, that was a tough shot by Foster. Pretty good defense there by the Golden Eagles, sort of doubling her up on the block. But recognition by Foster, able to loft it up and get the bucket to fall through for the Bobcats.
3 minutes gone by in a 3-2 game. Here's Rowe, and she travels, and so the Golden Eagles turn it over for a second time, and Texas State gets it back.
And Rowe is one you really can't lose on that backside. You see the Golden Eagles are doing a great job of driving in and kicking to her. She can really shoot the 3 ball. You got to make sure you're there on the catch and make her put it on the ground.
A 38% three-point shooter on the season. Southern Miss's top 3-point threats.
You see the Golden Eagles playing a little bit of three-quarter court zone, trying to get Texas State to turn it over, but a good attack by the Bobcats.
Terrell into the corner. Burks a corner 3. Won't go. And a foul on the rebound called against Southern Miss.
Yeah, they're going to get Bree Sutton trying to block out Jalen Foster. Got under her just a little bit, but, you know, it's one of those things at Texas State, when you struggle to score points, you've got to find other ways to manufacture offense, and going to the offensive glass has been sort of the go-to for the Bobcats this year. And you see it again here. You had Terrell earlier with an offensive rebound, and on that possession you had Jalen Foster going to the board to draw on the foul.
Bobcats struggled offensively when these two met last month. Shot just 31% from the floor. 1 of 7 to start this game. There's a cut on the hand of Jemiah Evans.
It looks like they got her all taped up. You got to love athletic trainers. Those guys are, what do I call, Johnny on the spots. They're able to fix most everything for these student athletes and get them back going.
Burks pulls up, can't connect. Rebound, Nyla Jean. Second transfer out of Georgia State. Good player, averaging 12 points per game. Big jump in scoring from a year ago.
She is really quick. Nyla Jean, again, has a good attack and retack, and really does a good job on offense for the Golden Eagles trying to get to the rim.
Shot clock down to 6. Seepers 3, and she's fouled. Fouled by Destiny Terrell on a 3-point shot. 3 free throws coming up for Morgan Seeper.
Yeah, good clock management there by the Golden Eagles. You see Seeper knew the clock was expiring and really looked to get a shot off. It's hard to tell from that angle. I think Destiny Terrell felt like she got all ball. Officials saw otherwise, and the officials' vote's going to count more.
Morgan Sieper, the sophomore out of Tampa, Florida. Scored 9 points against Texas State in the first meeting between these two. First of 3 free throws won't go on the season Sieper, 82% foul shooter. Golden Eagles 4-11 in Sun Belt Conference play as Sieper goes 1 of 3 from the line, and now Nyla Jean fouls, so now more free throws for Southern Miss. 4-11 in Sun Belt play, tied for 11th. If the season ended today, the Golden Eagles would currently be the 13th seed of the Sun Belt Conference tournament. And as we've talked about, being in the bottom 4 in the Sun Belt makes the road really difficult in the upcoming tournament.
It really does. The format this year for the Sun Belt has changed. And it is one of those that if you're in the bottom 4 to advance to that final championship game, to be in the running for an at-large or berth to the NCAA tournament is 7 games in 7 days, and that is a lot to ask for a team to be able to perform that long and that consistent.
Nyla Jean makes them both. Early 2-point lead for the Golden Eagles.
Look at this 2-2-1 here by the Golden Eagles back into that zone. Going to continue to run that against the Bobcats, really make them have to work to get the ball down the floor.
Off the miss from Nicole Leffrow has the rebound for the Golden Eagles. Up ahead to Sieper. And the baseline jumper goes for Jemiah Evans.
Yeah, really nice move there by Jemiah Evans. Just faced up, had a little separation between her and the Texas State defender and just put it right in the hole.
Coming up at the halfway point of the first quarter. Tonight Burks drives and dishes to Foster, who scores inside. Her second basket cuts the lead down to 2.
Yeah, fortunate bounce there for the Cats that it fell into the hands, and Foster was able to finish with that right hand right around the rim.
Taylor Foster coming off a 19-point game against Louisiana. 3-pointer good for Nyla Jean. Really good for the outside this season, shooting 37% from beyond the arc. That's the Golden Eagles' first 3 of the game. They hit 7 against Texas State in Hattiesburg last month.
One of the things when you're going to get zone, you've got to be patient, but you can't be too patient. You've got to try to find those seams and be able to attack them with drives, or more importantly, get some passes into your interior players to make that defense collapse like you see there for left. But you have to be cautious dribbling because there's a lot of hands in there. Great job by the Golden Eagles. Shot clock violation. That's a win for them on that possession.
Texas State's second turnover of the game. Bobcats are committing about 19 turnovers per game, second most in the Sun Belt. Committed 21 against Southern Miss back on January 30th. Golden Eagles the ball at a 5-point lead.
That previous meeting between these two was a little bit what I call an ugly game. As you mentioned, Brant, there were a lot of turnovers. Big shot there. Nice.
Ayla Manley.
Yeah. Last meeting, there was 45 turnovers and 40 free throw shots, so it was a physical, grinded out kind of game. Right now, the Eagles are really lighting it up on the offensive end.
Out of bounds, turnover Texas State's. And the Golden Eagles get it back on top by 7. They've made 4 straight shots from the floor.
Being able to make shots makes the game flow so much better. And that's an obvious thing to state, but it's hard to do. And right now you feel like the Golden Eagles are really getting into a rhythm. Texas State there will break it up a little bit with a steal.
Manley turns it over for the Golden Eagles. In the corner, 3-pointer goes for Jamia Harris, coming off her big game on Wednesday. That's her first basket of the game today.
And she's not really known as a 3-point shooter. Her percentages don't dictate that that's probably the best shot for her, but Coach Antoine will take it. It fell down. She did a great job last game getting the ball in the paint and using her size for a guard to score.
Texas State's first 3-pointer today. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. 12-8 Southern Miss. Shot clock under 10. Here's Jean. Shot clock to 3, puts it up. At first she traveled. 4th turnover for the Golden Eagles in this opening quarter.
Yeah, really solid man defense there by Texas State. Did a good job of moving their feet, getting around the ball screen to get back in front of Nyla Jean. That was Crystal Smith. And, really made that difficult and ended up getting a turnover.
Bobcats forced 19 turnovers in the win over the Cajuns. On Wednesday, turned that into 22 points. Big key for Texas State in their win over Louisiana. Whistle away for the basketball. A foul called against Southern Miss.
Yeah, they're going to get Evans a little too physical there on 𝗀𝗏𝗱𝘆 on the block. A little bit of body banging there. And she's going to pick up that foul. Going to have a substitution in. Bring in Micah Cooper.
Aaliyah Grayson's only played a minute so far in this game. On the bench right now for Southern Miss, their leading scorer in the season. Crystal Smith, the drive to the finish. Play there for Texas State, cuts the lead down to 2.
Smith played well last game, did a great job on the defensive end. Was able to hit some timely buckets for Texas State in the win against Louisiana.
Coming up with 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Golden Eagles 4-6 in the floor, but they've committed 4 turnovers. Receiver. Now Jean drives against Smith. Shot is shorts. Battle for the offensive rebound. And a tie-up is called, and the basketball will go back to Texas State.
Yeah, again, you got to tip your cap there. Crystal Smith has done a great job the last 2 games in moving her feet, staying in front of the offensive player and not bailing him out with a foul. Just really solid defense. That was at play again in that last possession.
Blake Matthews the point for Texas State. Finds 𝗀𝗏𝗱𝘆. Now Crystal Smith with the shot clock under 10. 𝗀𝗍𝗻𝗆 Harris travels with the basketball. Texas State's 4th turnover, and the ball goes back to the Golden Eagles. A good pressure defense by Southern Miss leading to the turnover.
It was. They did a good job bumping each on the zone, going from one player to the next. So as Texas State rotated the basketball, and 𝗀𝗍𝗻𝗆 Harris, her mind was thinking faster than her body, took an extra little step there, and it resulted in the turnover.
Foul against Texas State, or no, this is against Southern Miss.
Yeah, they're going to get Southern Miss with that. Ended up, Cooper was not set when the contact was made there with, I think Harris ran into her, so she got the offensive foul. And so it's one of those things that typically, if I'm in my old coaching days, you blame that on the perimeter player. They've got to wait, let the offensive player get set so they don't pick up that type of foul.
Coming up at the final minute of the quarter. Matthews into Melinda Winston. And the ball stripped and taken away by Southern Miss.
Winston's got to be tougher, be a little more ball tough.
Zeeper a 3. That's good. Second 3 of the game for Southern Miss. The first for Zeeper. 15-10 Golden Eagles on top.
Yeah, Zeeper's a tough matchup. She's an inside-out kid. Swings 3-4. She can shoot it from the perimeter. She can put it on the deck. And again, that was all set up by the drive and the kick out.
Bulk of her offense coming from beyond the arc. Morgan Hill with a touch pass into Winston. The layup won't go. And the rebound to Micah Cooper.
A good pass there from Morgan Hill. Winston just a little too much English on that last shot and didn't fall in for her.
Shot clock is off. Golden Eagles can hold for the final shot here in the quarter. Manley fires away, shorts. Out of bounds. And last touched by Southern Miss, I believe. Or no, by Texas State, so the Golden Eagles get it with under 2 seconds to go in the quarter.
They may get a look here. Texas State's got to do a really good job of closing out. And,
Austin, Texas, last 4 games, putting up about 16 points a game, shooting nearly 50% from the floor. Has been a go-to player for the Bobcats all season long.
Yeah, she really has. She has stepped up. You know, she's stepped up her game, done a nice job for the Cats on many fronts, whether it's on the defensive end, taking charges, hitting the glass, scoring the points. She's a very well-rounded, versatile player for Coach Antoine.
Bobcats of basketball facing a 5-point deficit. And this will be a foul against Bree Sutton. Southern Miss.
Now, one of the things about Foster I like is I say she's a player that plays with a little edge, a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. You want to have that type of moxie about you, and especially if you play any type of inside type of position. You gotta play with an edge, and she definitely does.
Early stages here in the second quarter in a 5-point game. Blake Matthews running the point. Shot clock under 10. Morgan Hill fires, can't hit. And the ball out of bounds. Last touch by Foster goes back to Southern Miss.
A pretty good execution there by Texas State. Got Morgan Hill sort of extended short corner on the baseline. Got a pretty good look at it. Just wasn't able to fall, and Foster got a touch on the offside. Just couldn't wrangle it in to get another shot attempt.
Again, the Golden Eagles today being coached by Brooks Donald Williams, the associate head coach. In this program, filling in for the legendary Joy Lee McNellis, who couldn't be here today.
Yeah, Joy Lee, man, she is a one of a kind. You know, I've got to watch her from afar for many years. I know when she was at Memphis coaching, and then here at Southern Miss. She is a sweetheart, and missed getting to see her today here. Got to talk with Brooks a little bit before the ball game, but Joy Lee is just legendary, you know, not only for the Southern Miss community, but just for basketball as a whole, what she's brought to this game and the players she's had and developed. Definitely a great one.
Was recently inducted into the Southern Miss Legends Club last month. A very prestigious honor. Just the 24th member of that club in the history of Southern Miss athletics.
Well-deserved, you know. Former player there, you know, it's sort of funny. Grayson passed her, I think, on the points list just recently, and so I'm sure she's excited for that, for her players to, you know, surpass the things she did as a player.
Tonight, Burks a 3. That doesn't go. Rebound tracked down by Nyla Jean. Joy Lee McNellis was honored with the Pat Summitt Most Courageous Award last year following her 3rd bout against lung cancer a year ago.
Yeah, man, she is talking about a fighter. You're not going to find anybody tougher than nails than Coach McNellis. I mean, you know, I remember from our conversations a year or so ago, Brant, she said, you know, there's going to be a lot of storms in our life, and we have a choice. We either press on or you lay down, and she definitely pressed on.
Foster rattles through the 3 for Texas State. Her first 3 of the game. Foster had 7, and the Southern Miss lead down to 2.
Yeah, really good look there by Foster. You know, she, again, a really tough player to match up with because she can score inside on the block or she can shoot the 3-level scoring. Again, she's done such a great job this year.
Here's Malia Grayson matched up against Morgan Hill. Turn around too strong. Back comes Texas State. Foster off the window, won't go. Rebounded by Manley, up ahead is Sieper. It has a layup for the Golden Eagles, but she traveled first. Turnover for the Golden Eagles, their 8th of the game.
A really good pitch ahead there. I'm not sure on that travel, Brant. It's sort of hard to look. I guess, you know, as an old coach in me, if it looks smooth, then it shouldn't be called. So I don't know. We'll play on, though.
We'll step aside. 17-15, Southern Miss on top in the second quarter here on ESPN+.
Meister. I graduated in 2020 and I have a bachelor's degree in electronic media. You know, I highly recommend applying for an internship because that's how I got my start here at Sinclair San Antonio. I love the fact that these people really want you to strive in all directions of the newsroom and go out and interview and take pictures and just really enjoy the field of work that I really want to do.
Check out news4sa.com/careers or call 210-366-1129.
People are always searching for what's next. At Texas State University, we are driving what's next. And next is now.
Back out at Strand Arena, 17-15, Southern Miss on top. We were talking about Malia Grayson recently surpassing Joy Lee McNellis on the all-time scoring list in Southern Miss history, more than 1,500 career points, close to 1,000 rebounds, more than 140 blocks, top 10 in program history in all three of those categories. Also second all-time in games played today for 134.
Yeah, she's a rarity right now in college basketball. As we all know, we're in that transfer portal age where student athletes go from school to school to school. It's a rarity to have a player like Malia Grayson stay all 5 years at the same school. Texas State has the same luxury with Nicole left and with Sierra Dixon, two COVID seniors also. And again, you appreciate those kids, their loyalty to the institution, and just, you know, their historical knowledge and the things they bring to their teammates just being at the institution for that long.
Grayson had a double-double against Texas State last month, 15 points, 10 rebounds. And just a few nights ago, put up 22 against South Alabama. 17-15, Golden Eagles on top. Still early here in the second quarter.
And you notice so far this game, we've seen nothing but zone from Southern Miss. I expect that to stay a lot of the time. This right here is a little more of a sagging man-to-man. Sure, as I said, zone, they went man. And a good drive there by Crystal Smith and got the friendly roll.
Second basket today for Crystal Smith, ties the game at 17. And now turnover. Here's Sierra Dixon off the glass, and the Bobcats take the lead.
I like that Coach Antoine the last couple games has done a great job with this press and continued to just press full court, trying to get some easy buckets. And you say it's paid dividends this last possession for Texas State.
Led to another turnover. Jamia Harris, fitted by Manley on the drive, puts it up and in. What a shot by Jamia Harris, and a 30-second timeout called by Southern Miss.
Yeah, really great play there by Texas State. I like the patience, and again, Jamia Harris, a physical guard that can take the contact and be able to finish the shots.
Bobcats in the middle of a 9-0 run. They've outscored the Golden Eagles in the second quarter 11-2. Look back at this last basket from Jamia Harris. And Texas State right now is in a groove.
They are, and again, you notice that again their defense is feeding their offense. They're playing really well in the defensive end here, especially in the press, getting their hands on balls and leads to some easy offense. And again, both of these teams sort of have that DNA in them. They struggle at times to score. They need to get some things off their defense, make some offensive easy plays.
21-17, Bobcats on top. Jamia Harris, the last basket moments ago, coming off her 21-point outburst against Louisiana on Wednesday. That's 5 points to start this game. Golden Eagles, the basketball, on the wrong end of a 9-0 run.
Texas State staying with that man-to-man defense, switching like screens.
Manley shot won't go. Destiny Cho collects the rebound for the Bobcats.
I like that Texas State is pushing the ball back at the Golden Eagles, you know, trying to get them wide before the defense is set.
Dixon. Back out to Terrell. Now Jamia Harris. Dishes to Foster in the corner. Whistle on a foul called against Southern Miss. Against Malia Grayson, and that is her second.
And I feel like, you know, you'd mentioned Brant earlier, Malia Grayson had not played a lot. She picked up one foul really early in the first quarter. And I have a feeling that's the reason that Coach Donald Williams put her on the bench, is so that she didn't pick up too early in the first quarter and that she'd able to replace them.
Comes out of the game here with that second foul. Destiny Terrell works it into the corner. Harris looking for her second three of the game. Wouldn't get it, so wouldn't go. Offensive rebound, Texas State. Crystal Smith, the drive, the scoop, and the score. Her third basket of the day.
A really great move there by Smith. I like the way today she is coming out aggressive on the offensive end, not settling for jumpers, really trying to turn the corner like on that last possession and get to the rim.
One of 6 seniors playing in the final home game today. And is off to a good start. Micah Cooper now against Destiny Terrell. Now the Jean with the shot clock under 10. Off the screen, pulls the trigger on a 3. It's short. And Terrell holds in another rebound. Here's Smith, drives again, and this time can't finish. Battle for the loose ball, won by Texas State. Crystal Smith's runner doesn't go. And foul to the act of shooting. She'll go to the line.
Yeah, Texas State is really doing a great job on offense of moving the basketball with a purpose and then finding those seams and attacking them, especially there at the last possession. You saw Crystal Smith, the ball was a little bit all over the place. They reversed the ball around to her, and then she saw that seam, attacked it, was able to get into the interior, draw the foul, and get herself to the free throw line.
Short on the first free throw. Crystal Smith, 72% for the line this season. Misses them both. Terrell hauls in the offensive rebound. Bobcats right now winning the battle of the boards. They're +5 in the rebound margin, but here they turn it over. And the basketball goes back to Southern Miss.
Yeah, Southern Miss dodged a bullet right there. You know, one of the cardinal sins you have is blocking out on free throw situations. You've got the inside position. You've got to secure, make sure you hit that player on the other team and block them out.
Bobcats more pressure defense, leads to another turnover. Now Jalen Foster spins, goes off the glass and scores.
Yeah, the defense right now is really bothering the Golden Eagles. They've had trouble against this man pressure from Texas State.
And then Manley lost it. Taken away by Foster. Up ahead to Harris. The ball's going to stay with Texas State.
Texas State has ratcheted up the pressure on the defensive end and has made the Golden Eagles uncomfortable. You can tell that they're sort of out of rhythm and has really been able to exploit.
Before the inbounds pass, a foul will be called here against the Golden Eagles. Jalen Foster got knocked down. Or no, this is against Texas State, I beg your pardon. The foul is against Jamia Harris.
We couldn't see. Let's watch right here. So Harris sets the screen. And I guess Harris was still moving when she made contact with the defensive player. And so they've called that as an offensive foul on Harris. And she's going to go to the bench for just a little bit here. I think that's just her first foul.
Approaching 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Golden Eagles haven't scored in close to 5 minutes. Manley's floater off the glass doesn't go. Rebounded by Talia Gibbs.
And one of the things Texas State has done a nice job of on defense is not bailing out with a foul and finishing possessions with rebounds. They have not let the Golden Eagles get on the offensive glass.
It is a 13-0 run for the Bobcats. Shot clock to 10 as Terrell pulls up. Offensive rebound, Jalen Foster.
And Foster is just going nuts today on the offensive board. She has done a great job of attacking it.
Shot clock under 10 for Sinai Burks. Now Foster long 3. It's an air ball. Basketball goes back to Southern Miss.
Look right now, Brent, we talk about the offensive rebounding and the turnovers, the number of possessions Texas State is getting. Texas State has 29 attempts, whereas the Golden Eagles only have 16, and the difference in that is coming because of offensive rebounds. Texas State has 11, and then turnovers by the Golden Eagles.
Destiny Terrell has 9 rebounds herself for the Bobcats. 2 minutes to go in the half. 8-point game. 13-0 run, Texas State. 𝗀𝗱𝗱 drives, goes off the glass, can't finish. And back in the Bobcats.
Yeah, and for the Golden Eagles, that was a good look. Nice drive by 𝗀𝗱𝗱, and it just didn't fall.
Nice ball fake by Foster. The runner goes. What a game. It's been for Jalen Foster so far, the first player to hit double figures.
And Coach Antoine has a deep bench, and so she is really able to rotate people in and keep them fresh. And this pressure, again, we've talked about it, full court pressure, man-to-man, is being very disruptive to Southern Miss.
Well, look at that runner by Foster. Nice soft finish. 11 points for Foster, 5 rebounds. 10-point lead for Texas State. Here's Sanaya Burks. Pulls up for 3. Way off, and the rebound hauled in by Manley.
When Burks is 1-0.
Manley turns it over. Foster foul. Another Golden Eagle turnover. Texas State looking to take advantage.
Yeah, great work there by Jalen Foster. Just stayed back in the backcourt, was able to pick off that pass from Manley, an ill-advised pass, and able to get herself to the free throw line. And you see acting head coach Brooks Donald Williams over there just telling her players just to settle down. Again, Texas State, I think, has got them rattled a little bit with this defensive intensity and this pressure for 94 feet.
It has been all Texas State in the second quarter. They've outscored the Golden Eagles 18-2. One of 2 from the line for Foster.
Brand, from the quarter 1 to quarter 2, the biggest change I see is the intensity and the effort on the defensive end by the Bobcats that's led to this big run.
Shot clock to 10 for Evans. Offensive rebound, Manley. Golden Eagles haven't scored in more than 7 minutes. Trying to cut into this 11-point lead over that stretch. That 7-minute stretch, but a 16-0 run for the Bobcats. Now 𝗀𝗱𝗱𝗆 is fouled. Wave off the shot. Fouling is Texas State on the floor.
It's going to be on Jalen Foster. They had a switch there on the outside to put Foster against Jean. Just got that extra step around her and was able to draw the contact on Foster. Foster's going to get a well-deserved rest, and Destiny Terrell re-enters for the Bobcats.
Nyla Jean. Drive, spin, shoots. Rebounded by Morgan Hill, taken away by Manley. And now Manley fouled in the act of shooting. That basket will count. That'll end the scoring drop for Southern Miss.
Morgan Hill just got stripped there with the basketball. You got to appreciate the aggressiveness of Manley just going at her, and is able to capitalize and get the basket. This is Morgan Hill's first game back. She's been out for a few ball games with an injury. First game back into live action.
Can't complete the 3-point play. Final 15 seconds of the half, and the shot clock is off. Down to 6 seconds. Morgan Hill into the corners tonight. Burks. Burks drives, puts it up and in. What a play to end the first. 5-10 in conference play, good for 10th place. The Golden Eagles 4-11, tied for 11th. And off we go in half number 2. Third quarter just underway.
And for, Texas State, we've talked about the bigger picture. These are some wins they really need to get. Number 1, you're at home, and continue to increase your seeding for the tournament.
Tonight, Burks scores inside for the Bobcats. And Texas State on top by 13.
Yeah, really good look there by Jalen Foster, and a great cut by the freshman Sienna Burks right down that lane line. Found that opening, was able to take advantage of it.
Burks has 6. Bobcats on top, 32-19, 13-point lead, largest of the day. Clock to 10 for Nyla Jean. Tries, puts it up. Floater's too strong. Blake Matthews the rebound for the Bobcats. Now tonight, Burks open for 3. Won't go. And the ball out of bounds. Was there a foul? Yeah, there's a foul called against Malia Grayson. And for Grayson, that's her 3rd.
Yeah, and that's not good for Southern Miss. They really needed her on the floor. Again, she's one of the leaders for them. Gets called there. A little bump in the back right here of Destiny Terrell going to get called for. It's going to put her on the bench for a little bit.
Grayson just has not been a big factor today for Southern Miss due to large part of the foul trouble. As Destiny Terrell draws a foul inside. In the act of shooting, she'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and Terrell, again, you look at Terrell and Foster and Harris last game. The 3 of those, as you mentioned, Brant, did a tremendous job on the offensive side. But I like the aggressiveness of Terrell, putting the ball on the deck, not trying to shoot a 12 or 15-footer, but to get into the rim and draw the contact.
Terrell hasn't been a big factor in terms of scoring today, but she's been a menace on the glass.
And she can rebound. I mean, you know, at Garnet Word, she had over 500 career rebounds down there, and she has continued on here for Texas State. Does a great job on the board. You had 9 rebounds at halftime. She can just really clean the glass.
Burks finds Terrell. Back out to Burks for 3. Short. Evans the rebound for Southern Miss.
Yeah, Burks has really struggled to find that 3-point shot. A few games ago, you know, she had a big game, hit 3s back-to-back, and then the last couple games, she's just not found that rhythm yet from the perimeter.
Whistle and a foul called against Texas State.
Look here, a little bit too much body there by Harris. It's going to pick up the foul. Going to be her 2nd.
And Sutton in the act of shooting. Bree Sutton, senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, at her 3rd different Sun Belt Conference school. Began her career at ULM, spent last year Arkansas State, and now in her 1st season at Southern Miss.
You know, and that's welcome to the transfer portal. You know, it's right now you're going to see student athletes go from school to school to school and represent those institutions and you know, take advantage of that the way the rules are now.
Sutton goes 1 of 2 from the line to make it a 12-point game. Here's Jamia Harris. Now Nia Burks against this Golden Eagles zone. Feeds it into Foster. Offensive rebound. Terrell back up off the glass and scores.
Yeah, really good board work there by Terrell. It was a nice set of offense by Texas State. Ran a little step down look, stepped out the Terrell to the short corner, had Jalen Foster cut down the middle of the paint, and got a pretty good look at it. Ended up off the offensive rebounds where Texas State cashed in.
Cooper a 3 for the Golden Eagles. Their 3rd 3 of the game. And just her 4th made 3 of the season. Lead on 11. Here's Blake Matthews. Shot is short. Ball out of bounds. Last touch by Destiny Terrell.
You know, when you look at this game, Brent, it's an 11-point advantage for Texas State. You know, after that second corner, you really feel Texas State, it feels like they're up a lot more than 11 points. And so you've got to compliment the resiliency of this Southern Miss team. They're still battling, had a big 3 that helped close the gap a little bit. They can come down on this possession, get it to single digits, you know, continue to make this a ball game.
Bobcats led by 11 at the half, 11-point lead right now. When they lead at the half this season, they are 7-3. The Grayson back into the game for the Golden Eagles. Bullies her way inside. Rebounded by Terrell.
Yeah, she's getting that inside position, and she was sort of walking Foster down to the paint. Just needs to slow up a little bit, get her shoulders square when she goes to shoot.
And Tara had the ball knocked out of bounds by Southern Miss.
Yeah, nice trap there by the Golden Eagles there in the short corner on Terrell, not letting her get any type of vision of a cutter going to the bucket.
Tonight, Burks, step back jumper, short, rebounded by Sutton. And a blocking foul called against Jalen Foster. Trying to draw the charge, unsuccessful though, and she's whistled for the foul.
Yeah, it was a good idea right there in the middle of the court. She thought she might pick up a cheap one there. Ends up they're going to get it on her, and she's going to go take a sit. She took a pretty hard hit there, Brent.
She did, as she picks up her third personal, goes to the bench. Team foul number 2 against Texas State.
You know, and that's a big loss for this in this third quarter with Foster on the bench. Again, her versatility, being able to pass interior, being able to finish at the rim or shoot the three, makes her a really difficult matchup.
Sutton on the drive, the right-handed runner, shorts, rebounded by Morgan Hill.
Good physical rebound there by Morgan Hill, really trying to hold Grayson off the glass.
Golden Eagles still struggling for the floor at 33% shooting as Grayson takes the ball away. Bobcats committing their 9th turnover. 6 minutes to go in the third, 34-23 Texas State. Jean, the drive, and she's fouled in the act of shooting. Free throws coming up for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, Crystal Smith did a nice job of moving her feet and staying in front, but at the last minute brought those hands down on Nyla Jean, is going to put it at the line. You look here, she moved her feet, did a great job, and then when she brought the hands down right there, that's where the official got her on the foul. Great replay there. Man, our replay team is spot on today, Brant.
So here's Nyla Jean. Another player who has made a journey within the Sun Belt Conference in her second year with the Southern Miss program after starting her career at Georgia State in Atlanta. One or two for the line, rebounded by Grayson. Her putback doesn't go, but the ball knocked out of bounds by Texas State. Sutton gets it into Jean. Step back jumper, short, got her own miss, and resets the offense. Offensive foul called against Micah Cooper, setting that screen. Knocked down Sanaya Burks. And the Golden Eagles have committed their 15th turnover of the game.
Yeah, and from this angle, it's hard to see. It looked like she was set with her feet. It just may be they called a chicken wing. That elbow out there outside of her body may have nipped Burks, and that's what drew the foul. It was hard to tell from this angle.
Golden Eagles back to their zone defense.
You know, and this is where Texas State has to show a little bit of patience, but you want to get something inside the arc, get a piece of that paint like Crystal Smith just did. And, I mean, did a great job, found that seam right there on the Sunbelt logo, just jumped up and hit the one-hander.
Smith has played really aggressive today for the Bobcats.
She really has. I like the way she's looking for her shot, that she's not just looking to distribute the basketball. She's actually trying to score, and you can see it's paid dividends for her today.
Halfway through the third quarter, 12-point game. Jean draws the foul, and that will lead to 2 more free throws for Nyla Jean when we come back. 4:56 to go in the third quarter. Texas State 36, Southern Miss 24. You're watching Sunbelt Conference basketball on ESPN+. We're back after this from Strand Arena in St. Marcus.
With True Green, we got a great price on a golf course quality lawn,
which attracted golfers.
Morning.
Who needs a warm-up?
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Where are we playing next?
Get started at TrueGreen.com.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose?
U.S. Women's National Team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Visa Card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
Drums keep pounding a rhythm to the brain.
Sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Get the all-new Nissan Murano at 3.9% APR financing for 36 months.
With Allegra, you can stop being sneezy. Without feeling sleepy.
Hello? I'm sleepy. Yeah, we know.
Allegra has 0% brain interference for fast, non-drowsy allergy relief, so you won't be sneezy or sleepy.
Do you know what I'm allergic to?
Maybe not even grumpy. Stop your sneeze and ditch your drowsiness with Allegra. It's a no-brainer. See Disney Snow White in theaters March 21st. Rated PG.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
I take the first shot, you keep it coming. We know a lot about turning nothing to something.
He is must-see television every time he puts that uniform on.
College basketball, it never disappoints.
How fun is this?
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN. The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
Welcome back to Strand Arena 36-24. Bobcats on top. This season marks the 50th in the history of Southern Miss basketball. Over that time, 8 conference titles, 8 NCAA tournaments, deep run in 1994 all the way to the Sweet 16. They've been to the women's NIT 7 times as well, including just a couple of years ago. A lot of success over the years, headlined by the 21-year tenure of 𝗀𝗲𝗱𝘆 as head coach of the Golden Eagle program. Now Jean hits the first free throw for Southern Miss. Dominant run for the program in the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s. In one stretch, went to the NCAA tournament 8 times over 11 seasons.
Yeah, and again, just been a really good program, you know, in the Sun Belt. Big steal there. Nice job. Way to run through the pass by Nyla Jean there. Sort of the same thing Texas State did to the Southern Miss in that second quarter. They're now trying to flip the script on the Bobcats.
4.5 to go in the third. 8-point lead. Matthews a pull-up. Got it. First basket today for Blake Matthews.
You know, and against this zone in particular, the Bobcat guards have got to use that mid-range. You know, if they're not comfortable with a 3 or they don't have a good look at it, they can get by that first defender just like Matthews did. Find that sweet spot, jump up and knock it down.
Micah Cooper with a shot clock to 10, pulls up. That shot no good. Rebounded by Jamea Harris. Here's Destiny Terrell for Texas State. Now Crystal Smith, who's had a really nice and aggressive game for the Bobcats, back out to Matthews. Shot clock under 10. Matthews drives and dishes to Harris for 3. Second one today.
A really good look there by Matthews. And you can tell the Southern Miss is really playing soft on that man-to-man defense against the Cats, sort of forcing them to take some outside jump shots.
Nice possession for the Bobcats. Good ball movement leading that 3 for Harris.
Yeah, they really did do a nice job again of sharing the basketball.
Now Jean with it for the Golden Eagles. Feeds it into Grayson, who's had a quiet game today, looking for Manley, the cutter. Knocked out of bounds by the Bobcats with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Crystal Smith out of the game for Texas State. Sierra Dixon back in. As Sutton's inbounds pass deflected by Matthews, but right to Grayson. And Grayson puts it up, too strong. But Matthews couldn't save the rebound. They're signaling shot clock violation, but that ball hit the rim.
Yeah, it hit the rim. It shouldn't be a shot clock violation. I think they're going to go take a look at it.
It should reset to 20 or maybe even 30 if the Bobcats establish possession.
Yeah.
But that ball clearly hit the rim.
Yeah, I believe it should be Southern Miss ball. The Bobcats were not able to corral the basketball, so there it definitely hits the rim. Reset, and you look at Matthews there, just can't corral it and goes out of bounds. And so
yeah, it doesn't look like possession was established by Matthews, so there should be a reset to 20 for Southern Miss.
Yeah, and again, the officials are checking it, which is good, just to get it right. You want to get it right. That's the most important thing.
Our officiating crews today, Jamie Broderick, Roy Jackson, and Cheney Minch. And we'll step aside, 41-28, Texas State on top.
The wild is closer than you think. But to get there, you might want all-terrain tires, off-road suspension, steel-plated bumpers, and something that says Bronco on it.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
With True Green, we got a golf course quality lawn at a great price.
That's when the golfers showed up.
You playing through?
Thank you.
Has anyone seen my ball?
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Where are we playing next?
Get started at TrueGreen.com.
What's your favorite part of a Kit Kat bar? The chocolate?
Nope. The inside.
The wafers?
No, the stuff in between the wafers.
Oh, the in-between stuff.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
And try Kit Kat Vanilla.
Even when U.S. women's national team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America customized cash rewards Visa card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
I want to thank my mom and my son. Baseball.
Here it is.
Find your ultimate playground at visitcalifornia.com.
With Allegra, you can stop being sneezy without feeling sleepy.
Hello? I'm sleepy. Yeah, we know.
Allegra has 0% brain interference for fast, non-drowsy allergy relief, so you won't be sneezy or sleepy.
Do you know what I'm allergic to?
Maybe not even grumpy. Stop your sneeze and ditch your drowsiness with Allegra. It's a no-brainer. See Disney Snow White in theaters March 21st. Rated PG.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
And we're back at Strand Arena, 41-28, Texas State on top of Southern Miss. Some confusion moments ago by the officiating crew about whether or not there was a shot clock violation. After a lengthy review process, they did confirm the ball did in fact hit the rim. And possession belongs to Southern Miss with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, I think they got it right, and that's what's most important. It's going to be, you mentioned Southern Miss ball coming in.
Now the Gene feeds it into Grayson against Morgan Hill. Spins, fires, and banks it in.
Yeah, it's a great move there by Grayson. That was a tough shot.
Now pass up ahead of Destiny. Terrell got behind the defense, and she lays it in.
Yeah, apparently a miscommunication there for Southern Miss. Let Terrell leak out, and great job looking ahead for Texas State, getting the easy layup.
Back out to a 13-point lead for the Bobcats. Cooper and to Grayson. Again against Morgan Hill. Shot clock down to 6. Grayson. And the ball knocked away by Morgan Hill. Defended that really well for Texas State.
Yeah, Morgan Hill did a nice job moving her feet, staying down in front of her, using that size against her.
And then Matthews dribbles the ball off her shoe. Bobcats with their 11th turnover. Approaching the final 90 seconds of the third. Sutton. Out to Nyla Jean. Now Cooper with a shot clock under 10. Grayson again goes to work, off the glass, scores and one.
You know, I'm not sure what Coach Donald Williams said at that last timeout, but she must have gotten in the ear of Grayson because she's come out a lot more focused and possessed these last two possessions for Southern Miss.
Quiet start to her afternoon. Business picking up here in the third quarter for Grayson. She heads to the foul line where she is sitting at a 75% clip this year. Something really special about her spending all 5 years as the Golden Eagles. She is from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
You know, you gotta like it when a hometown kid stays home and goes to school. It's just a a special bond, and it makes it just again, it's just great when you have those local kids stay home.
Crystal Smith feeds it into Morgan Hill. Lost control of the ball. Back out to Smith. Now Sanaya Burks, a corner three. Jean the rebound for the Golden Eagles. Jean, nice step through, and she's fouled.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable step through. I didn't anticipate that coming in this transition. Really stepped through, a little bump there by Crystal Smith, and it's going to put Nyla Jean on the free throw line. Really great move by Jean.
Jean, the seventh best foul shooter in the Sun Belt at 78%. 5 of 6 from the line today. And leads all Golden Eagles scorers with 10. Out for Nyla Jean. He's cracked double figures in both games against Texas State this season. Cuts the lead into single figures. A 9-point game under a minute to go in the third. Jalen Foster checks back into the game. Foster, if you recall, came out not long ago with a third personal foul. Another nice pass. Harris up ahead to Terrell. And Terrell fouled by Bree Sutton. Twice the Bobcats have run that play.
Yeah, unbelievable, again, that they got that open look again. Terrell again goes up. And Sutton gets her right there on the arm, is going to put her on the line. One of the things right now for Terrell is a 60% free throw shooter, and so it may pay off for the Golden Eagles, fouling her, not giving her the easy layup. But great execution by Texas State 2 different times this quarter on that runaway freebie there.
Been a tough day at the line for Terrell today. Now 1 of 5 shooting free throws. Bobcats as a team, 2 of 9, make it 2 of 10. Coming into the game, 6th in the Sun Belt in free throw shooting collectively at 70%.
You look here, Southern Miss has cut this down to 9. They could get a bucket here.
Manley, nice move, and puts it in to cut the lead out of 7.
Yeah, you got a 3-possession ball game now going into the fourth quarter. Texas State, it'd be nice if they could get a bucket here in this last 20 seconds of the third quarter, get that lead back up a little bit. You got to applaud the tenacity of Southern Miss sticking in this ball game.
Down to the final 10 seconds. Crystal Smith. 5 seconds. Jalen Foster back to Smith. Smith had the shot blocked by Cooper, and that'll end Bobcats. Here we go, fourth quarter underway with Texas State on top by 7. Golden Eagles with the ball first to start the fourth quarter. Here's Grayson, shot clock under 10. Now Manley, shot clock to 5. Back to Grayson, puts up a 3. Rebounded by Destiny Terrell. Bobcats, good defense in that possession.
Yeah, really good defense by Texas State. Southern Miss, I think, has got to move the ball a little quicker than they were in that possession. They need to get Grayson back, reverse it back around where she's going to be on the low box.
Terrell shoves it into Foster, who's fouled. Foul the quarter called against Micah Cooper.
Yeah, good cut there by Foster right down the middle of the paint and drew the foul.
Smith inbounds to Dixon, pulls up right away, doesn't go, and Sutton clears the board for the Golden Eagles. Now Sutton drives, trying to go coast to coast. She's fouled in the act of shooting, so free throws coming up here for Southern Miss.
Yeah, Texas State's got to do a better job in transition defense, stopping the basketball and flattening it out, not letting them get all the way deep in the paint through that transition. And you got to credit, though, Sutton, as she came down, she slashed, and that is really hard to guard in transition when they change sides of the floor. And she was able to get deep in the paint and draw the foul.
Sutton has struggled for the line this season. The Golden Eagles, just a 42% foul shooter, 1 of 3 today. Just 1 point so far this afternoon for Sutton. That'll cut the lead to 6.
And you see here, Southern Miss has again got themselves back in the ball game. It's a 2-possession game. Just under 9 minutes there in the fourth quarter. Texas State's got to continue to execute on the offensive end.
Off the missed 3 from Dixon. Golden Eagles get a stop. Now the ball down by 6. Sutton drives, left it short, put back Grayson, makes it a 4-point game.
Yeah, really good board work there by Grayson. They're going to end up getting Manley there for a little too much hands on the ball handler against Burks. Going to get that foul. You've got Harris coming back in for Texas State. And you've also got Sieper coming back in.
How about the Golden Eagles found themselves down 13 to the second half. Showed a lot of fight to make this a 4-point game.
They have. They have just grinded it away. Just solid defense. Trusted in their offense. And then Texas State, I think, has gone a little bit away from what got them there. Number one, they've got to be able to score to be able to press. And you remember in the second quarter, they were able to get some easy buckets off of turnovers. If you can't score, you can't press. And so they've got to find some ways to get some half-court buckets.
Shot clock to 10. Foster, the runner, doesn't go. She's had a quiet second half. Here comes Southern Miss. Sutton drives, goes off the glass. That won't fall. Got the rebound. That's short. Back up and in, and makes it a 2-point game.
Yeah, you got to love the tenacity right now, what you're seeing from Southern Miss right there. 3 shots at the bucket. Bree Sutton finally gets it to fall. Texas State's got to do a better job on the glass.
Turnover, Texas State. Nyla Jean, foul. What a comeback here by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, again, they have been fighting and clawing ever since that second quarter. They've found themselves back in the ball game now. They have an opportunity to tie their game if Nyla Jean can hit these free throws.
Fouling is Destiny Terrell, her seconds. Nyla Jean, 7 of 8 from the line today. Working on a team-high 12 points. And one more for Nyla Jean.
You know, and Coach Antoine is here looking for some answers for some of her players to step up, sort of bring that intensity back that they had in that second quarter. We're going to get a timeout by Coach Antoine. Wanted to talk about it a little bit.
7:35 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 43-42. Texas State on top as the Bobcats call for a timeout. We'll step aside with Texas State on top of the fourth quarter. The Golden Eagles have opened the fourth on a 6-0 run. They've got this lead cut down to 1.
You just can't beat a post-game burger at McDonald's, right? And you can't beat the Angel Reese Special. All right, let's break it down. It's a quarter pounder with my favorite barbecue sauce, American cheese, crispy bacon, pickles, and onions on a sesame seed bun. Get the Angel Reese Special at McDonald's. What are you waiting for?
With True Green, we got a golf course quality lawn at a great price.
That's when the golfers showed up.
You playing through?
Thank you.
Has anyone seen my ball?
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Where are we playing next?
Get started at TrueGreen.com.
Target made Up and Up for you, helping you save on storage solutions with bags in all shapes and sizes. So everything has a home. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Up and Up for you, only at Target.
Marines are made for this. Made for the calling only warriors can answer. Made from an unshakable belief in our nation and a strength that comes from the determination to win together. But you'll have to earn your place among us, because you don't join the Marines. You become one.
With Allegra, you can stop being sneezy without feeling sleepy.
Hello? I'm sleepy. Yeah, we know.
Allegra has 0% brain interference for fast, non-drowsy allergy relief, so you won't be sneezy or sleepy.
Do you know what I'm allergic to?
Maybe not even grumpy. Stop your sneeze and ditch your drowsiness with Allegra. It's a no-brainer. See Disney Snow White in theaters March 21st. Rated PG.
Drums keep pounding a rhythm to the brain.
Sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Get the all-new Nissan Murano at 3.9% APR financing for 36 months.
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000 plus out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
Welcome back to Strand Arena. Look at the upcoming broadcast schedule. Game 2 or doubleheader coming up. Texas State's Finn hosting South Alabama later today. Then a doubleheader of softball tomorrow with the Bobcats taking on Southern Illinois and the Kansas Jayhawks. All these games can be seen right here on ESPN Plus. Out of the timeout, 1-point game of the fourth quarter. Texas State on top. Golden Eagles trailing by as many as 13 of the second half. They clawed their way back to make it a 1-point game. And now the Bobcats turn it over for a 13th time. And Southern Miss can now play for the lead. It would be their first lead of the game if they can capitalize off that Bobcat turnover. I beg your pardon, it would be their first lead since the second quarter of the game. Now the Gene, wave off the shot, that doesn't count. Foul first against Texas State. They'll get it against Denia Burke.
Yeah, you see Nyla Jean in particular and really trying to turn that corner, get those shoulders turned around as she turns here, trying to get to the rim and draws the contact there from Burks. You gotta like the aggressiveness right now that Southern Miss has come out with in this fourth quarter. And they've scored the first 6 points, again, to carve this Texas State lead down to 1.
Sutton out of Manley, shot clock to 10. Drives, Manley off the glass, too strong. Rebound Morgan Hill.
You know, and it's been a little bit of time, Brent, since we've seen a really good offensive possession by Texas State. You know, I feel like this Southern Miss, this zone is sort of lulled to sleep a little bit, the Bobcats. This may be the possession, and it is. A great pass from Morgan Hill over to Foster on the backside box, and Foster's able to finish to extend the lead.
A basket the Bobcats needed, their first of the fourth quarter. A little bit of breathing room, on top by 3 as we approach 6 to go in the quarter. Deeper, the ball knocked loose. And there's a foul, offensive foul called against Malia Grayson.
I think they actually, Brant, got it on Manley 24 setting the screen.
They
yeah,
did.
So she was coming up to set that diagonal screen for Grayson to come to the low block, and ended up she had a little too much oomph in it, and the official whistled her for it.
Turnover, Texas State into the steal from Nyla Jean. Shot goes to make it a 1-point game once again.
And Texas State, again, turnovers are becoming that Achilles heel. They've got to, again, take care of the basketball. You see Southern Miss in that press trying to get Texas State, trying to get some free, easy buckets. And it has paid off so far.
Here's Crystal Smith. Now Morgan Hill, long mid-range. Shot is good. And there's a foul as well against Southern Miss. Let's see if they count the basket.
Yeah, and they're again going to pick up a foul there on Manley, I believe, trying to block out Jalen Foster. They're battling for the backside board, and the officials look like they're going to take a look at this review to see what occurred and make sure that's the only call.
Steve Foster and Manley battling down low. Foster going down hard to the floor. They're looking at her right now.
Yeah, and from that angle, I didn't see more than, I guess, what you would say a common foul, Brant, you know, with a little bit of shove in the back, but nothing that I would think would reach to a level more than just a common foul, but we'll see. But no, Jalen Foster definitely did take a lick inside there, and when she got hit the floor.
They are saying the basket counts. Makes it a 3-point game, and now Foster up to her feet for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and it was hard to tell from this angle how she landed, but she did take a really tough fall there. And it's hard to see if maybe something hit her eye. She's wiping her face there. But regardless, it should be Texas State's basketball on the inline.
With a 3-point lead.
And Foster will have to step out of the game. The training staff came on the floor to assess her, and so she's on the bench, and so Texas State will get the basketball and the opportunity to extend this to make it a 2-possession game.
Crystal Smith gets it into Sierra Dixon. 47-44 Bobcats coming up at the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Shot clock to 10. Destiny Terrell. Terrell through a lot of traffic, can't squeeze it in. Morgan Hill, an offensive rebound. Ball didn't touch the rim. That's a shot clock. Should be a shot clock violation. Now they got a foul called against Southern Miss. Some confusion here. Are they saying possession changed? Because the ball never hit the rim.
Not sure, Brant. Let's watch here. Shot goes up. I think that one maybe hit the rim. It's hard to tell from this angle if the one from Morgan Hill, if that was when the reset would have been. But regardless, the Bobcats come out a benefit for the lack of the shot clock violation. Get Sierra Dixon on the line.
That was the 5th team foul against Southern Miss for the Bobcats in the bonus. First foul shot good for Sierra Dixon. And that'll make it a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go.
You know, and this is where Texas State's got to get stingy on defense. They've got to do a great job down here on Grayson.
Grayson.
And she did a great job just walking Morgan Hill back in the paint. She got it. She was slow with the basketball, meaning she turned around. She faced up. Morgan Hill then went back and sort of crab dribbled her in to draw that contact and get herself to the free throw line.
These shots will go down as attempts 2 and 3 today for the line for Grayson. Golden Eagles as a team shooting free throws this afternoon, 11 of 19. Grayson's 0 for 2. On the year, he's 75% free throw shooter. Trying to make it a 4-point game. Misses them both. Empty trip for Grayson.
You know, in both these teams, neither one, Brent, have shot the free throw very well today. And this is going to come down, it may come down to just a free throw shooting to ultimately decide who's going to be able to win this ball game.
4.5 to go in the fourth. Bobcats on top by 5. Shot clock under 10 for Crystal Smith. Off the screen from Foster. Now J.A. Harris, shot clock to 3. Puts it up, won't go. And Grayson can't corral the rebound. The Bobcats are going to get it back.
Yeah, and you've got to credit right there Destiny Terrell. Again, she does so many things on the trying to get offensive rebounds. You watch her work under there and just get enough of the basketball, making it difficult for Grayson to pull the board, and then knocks it off her hands to get Texas State another opportunity here. Another 20 seconds to try to find some way to put some points on the board.
There's Crystal Smith. Nice move, and she's fouled. Good move against Bree Sutton. And Crystal Smith will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and again, we've mentioned it earlier. We really like the aggressiveness today of Crystal Smith. You see that step through, definitely drawing the foul there on the hack by Bree Sutton. Going to get her a chance at the free throw line. But I've not seen Crystal Smith play this aggressive on the offensive end, and I don't know if this year, but in recent games. I like that she's trying to turn the corner and really trying to look for her shot.
6-point game with 4 minutes to go. Smith with 9 points on the afternoon. And the inbound comes to Nyla Jean. Cooper into Grayson, knocked away by Harris. Bobcats have numbers. Harris up ahead of Terrell and lays it in.
Yeah, really great steal there by J.A. Harris, and then by the finish by Terrell. Again, really good defensive possession by the Bobcats.
And a 30-second timeout called by head coach Brooks Donald-Williams. Look back at this last play. Harris the theft, and then a great pass to Destiny Terrell. And the finish. Destiny Terrell, 7 points, 14 rebounds today for the Bobcats. Who've extended the lead out to 8 on top, 52-44.
Yeah, and again, that was a huge defensive play by Texas State. You know, the game before we talked about J.A. Harris, where she had her season high of 21. But the thing she did on the defensive end with 5 steals last game, that was a huge steal right here for Texas State to make this a 3-possession game. And so Texas State defense so far is stepping up when it needs to try to finish off a win here in their last home regular season game.
After this, the Bobcats on the road to close out the regular season at Troy and at South Alabama next week. And the Bobcats have been good on the road this season too. They're 7-5 away from home.
Yeah, you know, Texas State has done, like you mentioned, Brandon, has been a really good road team this year in the Sun Belt. And you know, for them, 2 games away next week, you know, they'd like to at least split. Worst case, if they can't get a sweep. Again, continuing to move up that seed line for the conference tournament, trying to make sure they're out of the bottom 4. But again, trying to see if they can get up a higher seed where they get more days of rest.
Coming out of the call timeout by Brooks Donald-Williams. Bobcats on top by 8. After Southern Miss had gotten this lead down to 1, the Bobcats have responded with a 7-0 run over the last minute and 40 seconds.
You know, and that was sort of similar in Wednesday's game against Lafayette. Lafayette had cut the lead, and Texas State was able to respond in those pivotal moments in the fourth quarter to be able to finish out the game. And this one right here looks like a little bit of that same type of script if they can do it here for the next 3.5 minutes.
Grayson locates Rowe, now to the top, Manley. A Manley shot spins in. That'll end the 7-0 run for Texas State.
Yeah, really great execution there by Southern Miss in the half-court set. They got the ball inside to Grayson. She kicked it out opposite, which led then back to an easy drive in for Manley to get the bucket for the Golden Eagles.
And now Sierra Dixon draws a foul. That will lead to more free throws for the Bobcats as they are in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter.
You know, and as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, you know, this could come down to free throws. And today, you know, both teams are not necessarily the top of the league in free throw shooting, but they definitely have shot free throws better than they have today.
Bobcats 5 of 14 from the line.
Yeah. And you look at Southern Miss, they're 11 of 21, 52%. So you've got 52 and 33% from the free throw line. Those are not normal stats for either one of these teams.
Both shots no good for Dixon. Stays a 2-possession game with 3 minutes to go. Here's Cooper. Now Nyla Jean.
And again, you've got to imagine that Southern Miss would love to get the ball at least a touch inside to Grayson there. Jalen Foster's really working hard on her. And again, a mishandle and then a turnover right back to Southern Miss by Texas State.
2.5 to go in a 6-point game. Jean pulls up for 3, big-time shot. Cuts the lead down at half. It's a 3-point game.
Yeah, that's a huge shot for Nyla Jean. Texas State went below the screen and left her open. And she's able to close that gap to, like you said, a 3-point lead. We have a foul there. I believe it's going to be on Micah Cooper, and it's going to put Jalen Foster on the free throw line. Look at this. Crystal Smith goes under that screen. And again, huge shot right there by Nyla Jean.
Then after the shot, a hard foul committed by Micah Cooper against Jalen Foster. And they're going back and reviewing this, perhaps to see if the foul should be upgraded.
Yeah, it was. Again, it was hard to tell. It was across the floor from us. Against the press, they'd thrown the ball right over the division line, over there to the corner. Foster went to get it, and there was a bit of a collision between her and Cooper. And the foul was called on Cooper, so worst case, Foster's at the free throw line. If you're a Bobcat fan, the only thing with the upgrade would do, it could be 2 shots and possession. So we'll see what the officials come up with.
And they're still reviewing that play right now. Foster went down to the floor hard a couple of times. She's gone down to the floor in this game. 2:19 to go in the fourth quarter, a 3-point lead for the Bobcats. Looking to pick up back-to-back wins before heading out onto the road for 2 games next week. Southern Miss trying to snap a 3-game losing streak today. And a 5-game losing streak in conference play. Southern Miss's last Sun Belt Conference win nearly a month ago, January 30th, at home against Texas State. They trailed by as many as 13 in this game. They've gotten the lead down to 1. Now it's a 3-point game. Officials done reviewing. Let's see if this stays to the common foul.
I'm looking at the officials and the way they're going, it looks like it's just going to remain a common foul, and it's going to be Jalen Foster on the line for the double bonus for 2 free throws.
All the free throw struggles for these two teams today. Foster, though, for the season, second best foul shooter in the Sun Belt at 83%. Good on both. Makes it a 5-point game. Cooper into Jean.
And big possession here now for Southern Miss. Go with a little bit of a horns look, trying to get Nyla Jean in with a drive. And again, open shot, big bucket there by Micah Cooper from the free throw line on the kick out.
Makes it a 3-point game once again under 2 minutes to go. Golden Eagles with some pressure. And the Bobcats are across the timeline.
You know, and right now that clock is Texas State's best friend. They want to make sure, sort of take the air out of the ball if they can. You really want to use that shot clock, but you also don't want to be so slow that you don't get a good look at the bucket here.
Here's Foster against Grayson. And Grayson knocked it away. Out of bounds with 5 seconds left of the shot clock.
Yeah, really nice defense there by Grayson. Moved her feet, got her hands on the ball when Foster spun around. And again, 5 seconds on the shot clock right now remaining for the Bobcats. They're going to have to get it in, maybe take one pass, and then they've got to get that ball up toward the rim.
Crystal Smith able to get it into Foster. Foster pulls up for a long three and banks it in. What a shot by Jalen Foster.
You know, when things are going right, they're going right. Unbelievable shot by Jalen Foster. That was a logo three.
And now Sutton on the other end. Rudder is good, and she's fouled. And a chance to answer with a three-point play of her own. Good aggressive answer here by Southern Miss, but a look back at that bank three from Foster to the bank. She's supposed to be closed on Saturday.
I'm telling you, Brand, I was waiting for that. And again, at the other end, then the response right there by Bree Sutton with a hard getting the foul and getting an opportunity for a three-point play. Not the Jalen Foster way, but the old-fashioned way.
Free throw's good and make it a three-point game once again. Timeout Texas State before the inbound. And this will give them a chance to advance the basketball.
It definitely is. And Texas State, again, both teams, you know, right now, free throw shooting has not been on full display for either team. You know, Foster was at the line just a minute ago and hit both of hers. You just had Bree Sutton hit one there to complete the three-point play. In these timeouts right now, you've got Brooks Donald-Williams is talking about the defense they want to run here, if they're going to trap, all those type of things, trying to see if they can get some easy offense by creating a steal or a shot clock violation. Where on the other side, you've got Coach Antoine is talking about number one thing is get the ball in bounds. And once you get it in, you've got to be tough with the basketball because the Golden Eagles are going to be swiping at it, trying to get a steal, trying to tie it up. You have to be really tough with the ball.
The Bobcats are choosing or opting not to advance it. If they get it inbound cleanly, they'll give a chance to kill a little bit more clock. And Harris will get it into Burks.
Again, good patience there by Harris. By Burks turning around, finding Foster open. And now you've got 20 seconds.
Here's Crystal Smith on the drive, banks it in.
Yeah.
$11 today for Crystal Smith, and that her biggest basket of the game.
Huge bucket. Unbelievably big bucket there by Crystal Smith. Turning the corner on that high screen. You look up here, you've got Foster at the high screen. Defender falls down, turns the corner, and hits the layup. Unbelievable. That's a great bucket for her. And again, didn't see any type of little contact, just a little bit. Got hung up there. Puts the Bobcats up by 5. Right now they're going to look at the review. And I believe the review is on the inbounds play down there. They scored the basket, went out of bounds, and initially the official signaled that it would be Texas State ball, that there was some type of deflection when the player tried to inbound it. And I think they want to verify they've got the right call.
So the inbounds play under review to determine possession.
Yeah.
They'll say it's Southern Miss basketball.
It looked like the face, I believe it was Manley was throwing the ball in, and she was in shock when the official had the ball going back to Texas State, because I believe Destiny Terrell may have kicked it with her foot or somehow ricocheted it. And so it is definitely Southern Miss basketball on the end line.
So the Golden Eagles of basketball down by 5. Each team big shots here late in the fourth quarter. Jalen Foster, a banked in 3. Bree Sutton, a three-point play, followed that up. And then Crystal Smith, huge lay-in for Texas State to make it a 5-point game. And if you're the Golden Eagles, you can't afford any empty possessions from here on out.
No, they've got to come away with points on each possession. You're under 1 minute left in the ball game. You're down 5. They've advanced the ball to the front court. Coach Donald Williams has got a play drawn up here. You know, I would assume they'd like to try to get the ball, get over here your 2 best players right there, Nyla Jean and Grayson in a 2-man action. Now you've got the ball to Grayson. Let her go to work. Man, I'd love to see her go toward the basket versus just settling for the jumper.
40 seconds to go. Golden Eagles not fouling yet. At this point, do you play for a stop if you're Southern Miss?
I would say yes at this point, but now you've got Sieper with the foul.
They let 16 seconds expire off the shot clock before committing that foul. And if Crystal Smith can make both, that would make it a 3-possession game.
And so I believe here that Crystal Smith does make these, or if they get the rebound on the second shot, you're going to see Southern Miss call a timeout to advance the ball again.
11 points today for Crystal Smith, a season high. And just the second time she's hit double figures this year. It was 1 of 2. The Golden Eagles are out of timeouts.
Oh, then they're not going to be calling timeout. Yeah. Good call, Brant.
Here's Sutton. Out to Manley, down to the final 20 seconds. Lost the ball. Saved it to Grayson. Now Jean. Golden Eagles using a lot of clock here. Jean step back 3, pops out. Rebound chased down by Harris. Fouled by Grayson with 8 seconds to go.
You know, and one of the things I want to mention in the beginning of that play at the top of the key, you saw how quick that Jamia Harris's hands are. She almost had the pick right there. Ended up, Manley was able to get the ball back, but then chases down that rebound. You know, the defensive side for Jamia Harris has really improved these last 2 ball games that have helped and impact Texas State's ability to pull out ball games.
And this is now 2 games in a row. Texas State has shown the ability to close out some wins here.
You know, and that's been sort of the challenge for them all year long, and it's good at the end of the year you see this starting to come together where they figured out how they can close out games, especially as you lead into the last week of conference play and get ready for the tournament.
3-pointer Sutton is good with 3 seconds to go. And that'll do it.